pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic that stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Chisel.
Here.
Carlson.
Here.
Luce. Here. Johnson. Here. Hadley.
Here.
Bergen.
Here.
Approval of the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Bergen.
Aye.
Hadley.
Aye.
Johnson. Aye. Luce. Aye. Carlson.
Aye.
Chisel.
Aye.
Public comment. Steve Johnson, Winship County Historical Preservation Commission. I just want to warn you that we have a new mic, and so when you speak into it, you're going to be heard.
Okay. Heard or not heard?
Heard.
Okay. Well, first off, I want to thank you for including me in our request to be on the agenda for tonight's meeting. That was really nice. And the reason I'm here is that I was told at the last meeting only a portion of our letters that our commission did to the Main Street group was read, and I felt that the whole text of the letter needed to be said and included in your records. So that's why I'm here. It's just for being a little more transparent and clarifying for clarification purposes.
Okay.
Now, can I just read the whole letter? It's only 2 paragraphs, or what do you want?
Sure.
So I'll just read the body of the letter?
That would be fine.
Okay. Okay, part of it I think you heard last month, but it says the Winship County Historic Preservation Commission endorses the proposed Main Street application with Decorah's picturesque natural setting and the existing historical integrity of the downtown business district, the revitalization of the commercial district, and the creation of an economic development plan would provide major positive impact in the city's future. While endorsing this application, the commission does have some reservations, and there are 5 bullets. The first bullet is, the process appeared to have been rushed. Second bullet, the Decorah Main Street Steering Committee has not achieved a broad base of community support. Item 3, failure to include major stakeholders early in the process, such as the Chamber of Commerce, the Winship County Development, Winship County Supervisors, and the mayor, weakens credibility of the project. Fourth point, non-endorsement by these 4 above-mentioned entities may weaken the application. And the last bullet was lack of a clearly defined proposed budget, e.g. leaving in the county's financial support in the budget, even though the supervisors declined. So that's the body of the letter.
Okay.
And I just wanted to go on, so it's in the record,
That'd
the
be
whole
great.
letter.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Thank you.
We'll make sure that it's in. Joel Zook, update from Winship Energy District.
There's 2 there. There's just the 1-pager on the front, and then I included the resolution passed in the spring by the City Council. So this is just to give you an update on the Decorah area group that is filing as interveners in the Alliant rate case. So just to give you a little background, and to everyone else here as well, the Decorah area group is made up of the Winship Energy District, the City of Decorah, Luther College, Winship Medical Center, and Ossihagen. So just kind of as a review, the City Council passed the resolution that I included in that handout on the 22nd, just stating their opposition to Alliant's proposed rate increase and talking about their intention to intervene into the Utilities Board docket and encouraging citizens to voice their perspectives to the Iowa Utilities Board. So since the resolution has passed, you've been joined by other cities across Iowa, so Blakesburg, Calmer, Clinton, Columbus Junction, Everly, Ferguson, Leland, Manly, Marion, the Water Department, Marquette, Ottumwa, Oxford Junction, Thompson, and Thornburg, as well as the counties of Jefferson, Wapello. So far, over 50 Decorah residents have written to the IUB in opposition to the rate increase, and many also spoke about it, against it, at the hearing that was in town on the 2nd of May. And businesses and organizations throughout Iowa have also objected to the rate increase, including NICC and Fairway stores. So just to give you a little bit of background that, you guys aren't sticking your neck out on this totally by yourself, that you're not alone in opposing the rate increase. And I just want to thank you for joining the Decorah area group to be part of that group. So the big deadline has passed on August 1st. We filed our testimony, and there is a brief 2-week period where interveners in the case will have a chance to respond to each other's testimony. And Alliance testimony in response is due at the end of August. There will be a hearing sometime in early October, and after that, the board will make its ruling at a to-be-determined date. But the idea would be that the rate increase finally approved by the board would go into effect sometime January 1st. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of background as to what was going on. And again, thank you for it, give you an update on the timeline that's been set out, and ask if you guys have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate presenting.
Joel, the intervener rebuttal to each other, can you say what that means?
So there's a number of interveners in the case that are, most are in opposition to the rate increase. Just because you're an intervener doesn't mean you're necessarily in opposition, although most are. So other interveners in the case include the Office of Consumer Advocacy, whose job it is to advocate for the consumer. So they're doing it on behalf of especially residential customers, but also small business customers, special focus on low to moderate income households. Other interveners in the case include 2 or 3 groups of large industrial users. There's a couple environmental interveners as well as others. So if anyone has a testimony that they want addressed kind of across those from one intervener to the other, they can clarify or they can object to someone's argument or that.
So was a rebuke necessarily a negative toward another intervener?
No,
or
you
is it
could
just-
you could certainly file in support of another intervener.
So it's sort of a discussion between the interveners.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. Thank you very much. And if you have any further questions, make sure you get a hold.
You guys know how to get to me. Yeah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. It's with pleasure that I can announce that we have completed all of the interviews and all of the necessary exploration as far as who we would choose for appointment for chief of police. I want to first of all thank all of the people that were involved in Saturday interviews, as well as all of the candidates that interviewed. It was a great learning experience. It's with my pleasure that I want to nominate Dave Schmutzler for chief of police, and I'm asking for the city council approval.
As public safety chair, I would like to move support for the mayor's appointment.
As personnel chair, I second it.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Luce? Aye. Johnson?
Aye.
Hadley? Aye. Carlson?
Aye.
Chisel?
Aye.
Bergen?
Aye.
Would you like to come up, Dave?
Clap now.
Fortunately, I'm not the one that has to pin it on. I probably would have bled his shirt or something.
Oh, boy. I just want to say a few words real quick. Mayor, thank you very much for the appointment. Council, thank you very much for the vote of approval. That means a great deal to me. I want to thank my mother and father that are both here today and made the trip over from Fresco. I wouldn't be here today if not for them. They've set that moral compass inside of me. They taught me right from wrong. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I want to thank the men and women of the Decorah Police Department. They've stood beside me during this entire testing process. Their support has meant a great deal to me as well. Kelly and I, that's my wife that put the deep spin on me today. She and I have heard support just about every day of this testing process, no matter where we went. When we went to the grocery store, we had people come up and share their support. When we went to supper, people would sit at the table with us and share their support. So I want to thank the people of the community for their continued support. And lastly, my wife, Kelly. I wouldn't be here again today if not for her. She went through this testing process with me. She's been with me throughout my entire career. That's a lot of holidays home by themselves. That's a lot of late nights, wondering what's going on with a tactical team call out or narcotics call out. This woman is the reason I'm here today. And also a quick thank you to Chief Nixon for the past 9 years of his mentorship. Thank you very much.
Next on the agenda is consider appointment to fill a vacant seat on the city council. Going to let Tad or John preface that.
You have two applications per the council's directive at the last council meeting, seeking applications for the appointment for Ward 2, vacated by Dan Bellrichard through the end of July. You have Daniel Kirkby and Emily Neal submitting applications. I guess just a couple of points is that the appointment must be made within 60 days of the vacancy. Notice of vacancy was published as appropriate on July 18th for the appointment today on August 5th. May not make an appointment until after the vacancy occurs, which I stated Dan vacated on July 31. So that lines up with today's date. Second ward resignation was announced on July 15 through effective July 31. A petition for special election would require 39 signatures and would need to be filed within 14 days.
Just a point of, those signatures have to be from Ward 2, correct?
From Ward 2,
Thank you.
that's right.
And the candidates can make a comment.
Yeah, that'd be at your direction. Both candidates are here, so it would be appropriate for
We have
them
a brief
to
comment.
share
from-
their backgrounds.
Okay. Have a brief comment from either candidate. Let's go with Dan, alphabetical. I think we'll keep it alphabetical.
All right, well, Mayor, council members, citizens of Decorah, thank you for taking the time tonight. Wasn't really prepared to speak. I didn't know if I was going to or not,
Okay,
but
just say a few words.
I will just say a few words. Might be more than a few. I can guarantee you that I'd give 110% to this council. Everything I've ever done, I've given more than that, so I'd give more than 110, actually. I worked on the Cable Commission here in Decorah for well over 15 years. Always with the best interest of Decorah first. We negotiated a contract, franchise agreement with Mediacom, got the city $15,000, which went up to the library for the PEG channel. That was something we weren't going to get at all. We worked for over 2 years to get that ironed out. That's the kind of dedication that you would get from me. For any problem, I've always been a problem solver. Problem up the VFW, I manage that up there now because I needed a manager. Just step right up and do it. Decorah is at a crossroads. There's a lot of people talking about what's going on in the city, a lot of concerns. You hear it in the coffee houses and places like McDonald's and stuff. And rather than just sit and listen, it's time for action. So I would represent the people of Ward 2, first and foremost, and their thoughts passed on to the council, and then go from there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I also wasn't like thinking we would have the long sort of
Just a brief one.
diatribe. So yeah, I'll be brief. First of all, thank you very much. I'm Emily Neal, and I would be honored to serve on the City Council. I think that I have a wealth of experience that would help me be strategic in the decisions that I would make on behalf of Ward 2. I have shown leadership in capacities both in my work and in the community. I've served on several different boards. Over the past 15 years, I've been on the Upper Iowa Audubon Board. I've served on both the Northeast Iowa Montessori Board, and I'm currently on the Oneota Community Co-op Board. In my role as the Assistant Director for the Center for Sustainable Communities, I've been working hand in hand with the city on the Build a Better Decorah initiative to help the city write its sustainability plan. And in my role as the assistant director, I also work as an administrator, so I deal every day with people management issues, with financial resource management issues, and thinking about how do we both serve the needs of people, economics, and the planet at the same time. And I think as a city council member, that's often what we're looking at, are these what seem like competing needs, but recognizing that they're systems, and in those systems, they're all connected. And so when we do our work as council members, it's really important for us to look globally at that system, and I've been doing that for over 25 years in my work. I think it's also important to note that I'm a communicator, right? I really believe that it is our civic responsibility to sit on the city council representing the people of Decorah. And in doing so, it's really important to engage with our citizenry, whether that is through coffee conversations, through putting yourself out there, for opportunities for constituents to communicate with you. And as a city council member, I would make sure that I am available and open to all of my constituents and all of the people of Decorah. So again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Yep.
Do you want to explain the process for voting?
So the council has ballots in front of you, right up behind your nameplate. You simply mark the candidate that you wish to see appointed, send your ballot down to John and I, we will tabulate those. You need to vote until you appoint someone,
Okay.
if you intend to do that today. You have time, but the deadline has passed that you've established for seeking applications for appointment. So if for some reason you don't appoint tonight, you need to reestablish that procedure.
Go ahead and make your vote.
Chad, what does a special election cost?
I'll defer to Wanda.
About 1,500.
Okay.
And there again, that election is just in Ward 2.
Just in word.
Correct.
Yes.
And is there truth that a group may have came forward and said if their candidate or person that they want elected is not elected, that there will be a special election? Is that correct? Have you?
We've heard rumblings that depending on how the outcome of tonight would go, that there may be a petition, speculations.
Would it make sense to delay this, the 60 days, and then appoint someone so there's not enough time to have a special election and essentially saving taxpayers a little money? How long would it take to put a special election together?
Time-wise, I don't know that that works that way.
You would have to wait at least 32 days for a special election. That's how long the auditor, you have to be an auditor in order to do the special election. But you have to either make an appointment or decide
Is that
to do
right?
a special election within those 60 days. You have to.
So at the end of 60 days, then we could say we want to do a special election, which would take another 32 days?
Your election,
No.
no. Your
No,
election
that's my
must-
point, is it wouldn't work. And
No.
it would just, no?
No, what,
Wait for the 60 days to make the appointment. The seat can be vacant up to 60 days.
Correct.
but you must hold the special election and fill a seat within 90 days of the vacancy. Okay. So by waiting, what you're going to have is vacancy until the election, special election, and then that person would actually serve until the regular election. So their service is actually muted at a shorter period of time. Then you hold the general election, whatever candidate that is, then serves out the balance of that term.
When's the cutoff for the general election, for putting your name in the hat? September?
September 19th.
19th is the cutoff date for solicitations to be filed for the general election.
I guess my thought is that it is in the benefit of Ward 2 residents to have a council person seated at the table. And so I would be comfortable moving forward with looking at the candidates we have tonight in order to make sure that that ward has an individual to approach about issues that matter to them. And I'm excited about this process. We have an application for the first time, and we were, really able to hear from candidates who were interested, and we have more than one, which is great, as we have council people who have been elected without, and with only one person being interested before. So I guess I'd like to go ahead with a vote tonight.
Any further discussion?
No.
Then I suggest you
Yeah.
go, oh,
I will
I'm
say,
sorry.
in
Thank
light
you.
of some things that have come out and some of the anger based on some signage that's been posted in yards, I would say, I would move to table this and take further applications up until September 12th, and then we act on it at our September 16th meeting.
Second.
Actually take the action or just take?
In discussion, I want to hear
That would just be a motion.
what they're deliberating on.
Motion to table.
Yeah.
Take further.
Okay.
Sorry, what was
did
that
you?
clarification?
Yeah, could you put a,
I think the proper thing would be a motion to table the action since we don't have it on the agenda.
Okay.
Consider this action, to reset the date for the applications.
Okay, I will.
So to reset the date and take additional applications, if that's what you intend to do, that would be an actionable item on August 19th.
Okay.
And when you explain the timeline of appointing rather than waiting for a special election,
You have
last meeting, I thought you said that it would really put it right up to, so there'd be a very short interim council person if we,
Well, it does shorten the time, but you have 60 days to fill the vacancy.
yeah.
That takes you through September 29th. You must make the appointment or go to a special election.
so we have a motion
To table this.
to table and a second to table discussion.
Randy or Andy, I guess, either of you, I guess I'd ask for clarification. So your motion is coming from a place of hearing concern about candidates?
Concerns, yes, about divisiveness, and we all know about freedom of speech, but, there's some people that are taking offense to signages that are put out in people's yards,
And so what would sort of best case scenario look like for you moving forward with the tabling of a decision tonight?
possibly some other candidates, or this one is in their or application.
If it's, can other candidates then,
We would discuss
Submit.
that at the next meeting and set a date, and then have that vote come up in September.
August 19th, you would reopen the application period
okay,
for a period of time. And then most likely you would consider those applications on September 3rd.
Yeah. You can do that too.
further discussion on the motion. Roll call. Roll call? Are we clear? Roll call.
Motion to table. Chisel?
Aye.
Carlson?
Aye.
Luce?
No?
Bergen?
No.
Hadley?
No.
Johnson?
No.
Fails.
Motion has been declined. I'm assuming then we move ahead with the vote. Is that correct, John?
Yes.
Okay. Then what I would do is I would suggest you make your vote, pass it down. I believe that's how they've done it.
Yes. Okay. We have one vote for neither candidate. If that's,
that an option?
what's that? I don't know what that looks like. One vote for Neil. Just want to mark him on there. That's fine. Yeah, that doesn't matter there. Another vote for Neil. Another vote for Neil. Another vote for Neil. One vote for Kirkeby.
That being said,
4 votes for Neil, 1 vote for Kirkeby, 1 no vote.
that being said, that Emily Neal will take the position of Ward 2. Which means you get to take that tonight.
After the oath of office.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Wanda will do that.
Uh,
I want to say one other thing. Is that okay?
If it's brief, yeah.
It is. It's about the signs, right? The signs are my husband's signs, and he will openly and happily knit them. And as someone who values free speech and our ability to say what we want in our own yards,
Voted
we deliberated about whether or not I would let him
true?
hang his signs.
I don't know.
And ultimately, I can't let my seat on the city council prohibit my own family from being able to speak out. In the same way that my own daughter begged us not to hang them as well.
I don't know.
But it is my husband's prerogative and his way of speaking out what he thinks of as racism in our country. And of sheer inability to speak any other way. And I cannot deny him that. Any more than I can deny any constituent from coming to me and sharing with me their thoughts and having a conversation with me about where we disagree and where we do disagree. So on that, thank you very much. I'm honored to serve Ward 2 and I'm happy to take this.
Okay.
Wanda.
Right now?
Sorry, Mayor,
Yes.
I think we should have a formal vote on the record. Because we don't, we had a vote here, but we don't have a public record in the minutes of who voted what. And I think it
Could you
should be,
explain that to me then?
well,
You want-
I think it should be on the record,
You mean, actually, what you want me to do is a verbal
right?
voting?
We've done that in past special elections
Okay.
like this, or appointments.
No,
Well,
it's the same, except that they would verbalize who voted yes and who voted no.
We didn't do it for the chief.
No, you took public roll call.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that,
what it
I think
said.
it's a public roll call.
I mean,
But in past
in the
elections,
past,
We
when
haven't
you've
done it
taken
appointments.
these types of votes,
secret.
you haven't done that,
Yeah,
but
I don't think so.
I mean,
We'll clarify that point,
whatever.
yeah.
So how do you proceed to move?
my suggestion, just so there's no question, you have a public vote. I mean,
That's fine.
Otherwise, you leave open the, a question here.
Okay,
I mean, and I'm not sure if last time there were multiple candidates
were.
or how it was done. More
There
than
were.
two.
There were multiple votes, too.
Yeah,
Multiple
so,
votes.
I mean, that makes sense
Okay.
why there's kind of a round robin, but here,
so what you want me to do is do a roll call.
right,
Roll call,
Well, I think we just need to put names on these ballots, so, right? So if I just go, just name your candidate.
Yeah.
Okay? So Chisel,
Kirkeby.
Carlson,
I abstained. I guess I don't have a,
Then you should vote.
no, Neil.
So I should record you as Neil?
Yes.
Okay. Luce,
Neil?
Bergen,
Neil?
Hadley,
Neil?
Johnson.
Neil.
Okay,
Okay,
now we do the oath
please
of office.
proceed.
Round two.
I, Emily Neal, solemnly swear. Do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. And the Constitution of the State of Iowa. And the Constitution of the State of Iowa. And that I will faithfully and impartially. That I will faithfully and impartially. To the best of my ability. To the best of my ability. Discharge all duties of Second Ward Councilperson. Discharge all duties of Second Ward Councilperson. In the city of Decorah, Iowa. In the city of Decorah, Iowa. As now or hereafter required by law. As now and hereafter as required by law. Okay.
You may.
Unless you want to keep.
Seat's all warmed up.
Okay,
Right.
consent agenda.
Okay, the consent agenda consists of minutes of the July 15, 2019 meeting, claims, renewal Class C liquor license for Lorana, expanded service area for Toppling Goliath, August 17, 14, 21, and August 22nd through October 31, 2019, renewal Oneota Co-op Class B, including Sunday sales, renewal Class C beer wine permit for Fairfield Inn, including Sunday sales, renewal Class C liquor license for Rubiot, including Sunday sales, renewal Class C liquor license for Stonehearth, including Sunday sales, special event application for Holiday Lights Magical Nights, November 27 through December 25th, 2019 at the campground, Resolution 2988, setting a date for a public hearing on an easement agreement with Stan Fullerton VIDA LC for use of Public Row 101 West Water Street for August 19th, 2019 at 5:45 PM. Partial pay estimate number 9, Gunderson Hangar Project in the amount of $131,262.23. Change order number 4, Gunderson Hangar Project in the amount of $2,119.62. Change order number 5, Gunderson Hangar Project in the amount of $9,653.41. Resolution 2989, setting a public hearing on the plans, specifications, and bid documents for the library improvement project, August 19, 5:45 PM. And consider Resolution 2990, setting a public hearing date on the plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimated total cost of the public improvement, directing engineer to post notice of taking bids, and setting the date for the bid letting for the 2019 East Broadway Alley Improvement Project, August 26, 2019, 5 PM. There's a lot there. Any questions from the council? Any of that information?
With the right-of-way for Stan,
Yes.
does Board of Adjustment look at this first?
No.
No? Okay.
At the most, planning and zoning would look at it for a C3 design element,
Okay.
and we are working through that application as well.
For the TG dates in August, are those special releases, or do you know what those events are?
The one is.
I don't know what the special events are.
Just curious. Thank you.
Two change orders at the airport, are those deducts or additions?
They're additions.
Okay.
The number 4, I believe, is related to some lights. Let's see, I think I have that jotted here. Change order number 4 includes a deduct amount for electrical in the amount of $1,250 and an add for lighting on the helipad for a damaged bulb and additional backup bulbs, spare parts, not included in the original bid. Change order number 5 includes additions and deletions of miscellaneous quantities of various building and construction materials, mostly rock, some seating, grading, fencing, silt material, those types of things. And I just noted in the background, it's common to see these types of change orders at the end of the project to balance what was actually used versus what was bid quantities.
Thank you. I'd move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Carlson seconded?
Yep.
Okay.
Any further comment? Roll call?
Chisel?
Aye.
Carlson?
Aye.
Luce?
Aye.
Neal?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Hadley?
Aye.
Bergen?
Aye.
Public hearing on the resolution of necessity, preliminary plans, costs, plat, assessment schedule for 2019 East Broadway Alley Improvement Project. Might you state what the reason that is?
This is an alley improvement project behind Broadway Street. Sorry, I'm just finding my notes here. This is required hearing and action. It approves the preliminary plans and assessments schedule for the proposed project. The preliminary plans and assessment schedule is in your background notes. The East Broadway Alley Improvement Project, the special assessment project, includes 15 properties along the corridor with frontage on the alley. Total assessments for the project are $18,714 on the approximately $91,783 project. That's an engineer's opinion of cost. The average special assessment is $1,247. The highest proposed assessment is $4,400. The lowest is $548. The project's designed with some asphalt, concrete where necessary given terrain and slopes, and some retaining walls. This action will allow the staff to proceed with the bidding and publication notification process. And I would ask if Jeremy has anything else to add or any other comments. Otherwise, this is the time for public comment on the project.
Is there anybody that would like to approach the council and public comment in relation to this project? Please step up, state your name and address, please.
My name's Mary Rayburn, and I'm referring to the property that's at 401 Williams Street, which is basically the corner where the alley will start on Williams Street. And that property is very unique to Decorah. It's its own little oasis. And the proposal that I have, from what I understand, is that you're taking out basically the whole back of the property is going to, all the trees and bushes will pretty much be wiped out, whether they are initially from, the city's going to take them down or doing the wall. The root systems will all be destroyed, so that whole back, instead of it being, you can't even see into it now, it will be basically all open. And basically, I'm just asking for some kind of relief, because the trees are 50-plus years old. They can't just be replaced. But just the cost of, to me, to put it all back, and there's no way you can put any cost on the change in the property. I mean, I'm really happy to see that the alley is being done, but you're actually destroying the essence of the property. So that's all I have to say, unless you have a question.
Mary, are the trees on your property or in the boulevard, or where exactly are the trees located?
The trees, from what I understand, there's one that's kind of halfway between both the city land and mine, and the other ones are all on my property. And they have to be taken down because the retaining wall goes about halfway on my property. And they're also having to go into my property to do the work, and so there's really no much hope anyway of any of that wall of green to be preserved.
So I know the engineers have talked about some consideration for access to the owner's property, tree removal. If it's in the boulevard, that's usually incidental to the project, or if it's in the row. If there are private trees that need to come down, again, the engineers usually work with the property owner I don't know right offhand what the assessment is for this property, but it is usual and customary that we forgive some of that if there are inconveniences to the property owner.
And
And
just
I would just ask that the engineers kind of work with the property owner on determining what that is.
Just be clear, that's butts right up against that whole alleyway butts right up against the side.
Yeah, it does all the way through
All
that
the way
corridor,
through there.
right?
Any other comments? Thank you. Thanks for your comments. Any further comments for this public hearing concerning this project? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Consider Resolution 2983, a resolution of necessity for the construction of the 2019 East Broadway Alley Improvement Project.
I move to approve Resolution 2983.
Second.
Any other discussion?
Would be very happy to make sure consideration discussions do happen between the property owner and the engineer.
Agreed.
Agreed.
So in this preliminary set of plans and special assessment schedule, it basically sets that maximum amount for the special assessments. Of course, it's dependent on bids and then these special considerations for property, trees, and sidewalks and whatever else is in there.
Thank you.
And it's not a first time. Last summer, we had something similar with hedges. It's not uncommon. And I know Jeremy and Lindsay will be as sensitive as they can to natural aesthetics just because, you know, it is difficult.
Right.
We did the same thing up at Phelps in that alley that we redid. Was it 2 summers ago? I think it was before Jeremy was on.
Right.
And it worked out. We worked with the property owners
Yeah.
and made it work.
So we'll work as hard as we can.
Yep.
Okay, so we have a motion by Bergen and a second by Hadley. Bergen.
Aye.
Hadley.
Aye.
Chisel.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Luce.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Motion carries. Public hearing on an 80-20 voluntary annexation, including land owned by non-consenting property owner in the vicinity of the Downing Commercial subdivision. That's one. Do you want me to read the second one as well?
Yeah, go ahead, and we'll just run these two
Okay.
public hearings together, if that's all right.
And also, in this public hearing on an 80-20 voluntary annexation, including land owned by non-consenting party owner in the vicinity of the Decorah Business Park subdivision. You have
So just
background
a
on
little background first, and then I'll let John share a little news. The Downing annexation process has been proposed and contemplated since early 2009, 2010, circa when the planning began for the 2013 Highway 9 Water and Sewer Extension Project, which ran east along Highway 9 and terminated in the business park with our elevated tank there. The project's completion included improved streets, curb gutter, lighting, and other amenities in the commercial subdivision. Other areas along this corridor have already been annexed as part of 2015 Phase 1 and 2 and 2016 annexation. This Downing Commercial Subdivision annex process includes voluntary petitions of annexation for 6 different properties. The annexation proceedings include land by one non-consenting property owner, which necessitates the 80-20 annexation because by Iowa code, you're not allowed to create an island or leave a donut hole there, if you will, for property that is not annexed. In the background notes in the packet, there's an area depicted in red on the map with the yellow dot. The yellow dot is the property that was not voluntarily agreeing to annex. With the calculation of total land area, this is a 94.5% voluntary annexation and a 5.6% involuntary annexation, far exceeding the required 80-20 by Iowa code. The property owners who have voluntarily agreed to annex have been offered a phase-in of property taxes as part of their voluntary annexation agreement. Basically, what happens is that the county taxes phase out and the city taxes phase in over a 5-year period of time. For the first year, it's 75% exempt from taxation. The second year, it's 60%, third year at 45%, fourth year at 30%, and fifth year at 15% exemption from city property taxes. At the end of the fifth year and into the sixth year, then they would pay full city property taxes. That's how that process works. The second public hearing is set for voluntary annexation of property owned, recently acquired and owned by Decorah Jobs. It's just west of the Decorah Business Park, and all of the land noted in red on the map is owned by Decorah Jobs and voluntarily agreed to annex. That does leave that similar island, if you will, of the yellow parcel noted on the map. This would leave a 90.2% voluntary versus a 9.8% involuntary annexation. So this would be the time for the public comment. John has worked with the property owners on the Downing subdivision, commercial subdivision, and the property owners that were previously involuntary have agreed to go voluntary as of just today, this afternoon. So while we don't have their agreements in hand, we anticipate that we would have those shortly.
So you should still go through with considering the resolution to do the 80-20 annexation for the Downing, because we don't have it in hand yet. I have no doubt that we will get it, but it takes a lot to get to this point with notices and everything. And then I just note that with the Downing commercial subdivision annexation, the city is also annexing in some property it already owns, and that's basically the public street that's out there. And that was part of the history of this, is acquiring that land, and everybody's been using that street, and the city's been maintaining it. So that's for the Downing commercial subdivision. For the other one at the Decorah Business Park, I've not heard from the non-consenting property owner there. So as far as the public hearing goes, I would make sure that there isn't anybody from GKCK LLC for the Downing that has anything else to say. But again, I've talked to their attorneys, and I don't think there's an issue there anymore.
Okay. We'll do these, the public hearing for the Downing commercial subdivision first. Is there anybody that wants to speak to the Downing commercial subdivision portion? Seeing none, then I can go and do the next one.
Yes.
This is for the public hearing for the Decorah Business Park subdivision. Is there anybody to speak for that subdivision? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing. We'll go on to Resolution 2986, authorizing an 80-20 voluntary annexation, including land owned by non-consenting property owners, to void the creation of islands and to provide for uniform boundaries and annexation agreements in the vicinity of the Downing commercial subdivision.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2986.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call?
Hadley.
Aye.
Chisel.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Luce.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Bergen.
Aye.
Okay, Resolution 2987, authorizing an 80-20 voluntary annexation, including land owned by a non-consenting property owner, to avoid the creation of islands and/or to provide for uniform boundaries and annexation agreement in the vicinity of the Decorah Business Park subdivision.
Move for approval of Resolution 2987.
Second.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
Steve.
Any discussion?
I just wanted to clarify the DOT right-of-way there to the front of that, parcel.
That was already in the city limits.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Now, there, a little strange twist to this piece. There is a county road to the west there, East Ridge Road.
Right.
By law, we have to annex half of that. So it creates kind of a strange situation there that we might have to do a 28E with the county in the future. But that's just part of what we have to do. So, and there's a reason behind that, the way the land is divided up there, but just so you know, we get part of a road with it, but it's a county gravel road, and only half of it.
Any further discussion? Roll call?
Chisholm.
Aye.
Luce.
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Carlson.
Aye.
Hadley.
Aye.
Bergen.
Aye.
Consider Resolution 2984, authorizing Upper Explorerland Regional Housing Authority to function within the city of Decorah.
So I'll just kind of review my background notes, and I think there are some representatives here. Laura,
There are.
I thought I
Both
saw Laura
Laura
and Rochelle are here. The Decorah Low-Rent Housing Agency will be experiencing the retirement of longtime director Laura Olson at the end of this year. Because of the challenges the board sees in hiring a new director, as it's a part-time position, the agency commission has explored the possibility of combining the agency and its Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD allocations to the Upper Explorerland Regional Planning Commission and its program. UERPC administers a similar program for their regions outside the corporate limits. These two resolutions propose the transfer of authority of Decorah's 86 baseline housing choice vouchers, units, and budget authority to Upper Explorerland Regional Housing Authority pursuant to federal notice and the attached resolutions, which are in your packet. Both housing authorities are in mutual agreement to a full transfer effective January 1, 2020. UERPC's Housing Authority has already passed the necessary resolutions and agreed to the transfer. The requested transfer will provide consolidated resources and services for the local area, provide for continuation of these important services for the city of Decorah and its residents upon Laura's retirement. I would ask if they have anything else to add, they could do so, or if there are any questions from the council.
Effective January 1?
Yes, I believe that's correct, right?
Laura's been long-standing working with this. We appreciate that. I can't believe you really want to retire, but but I think I've attended those meetings, and I know that we've talked about the Upper Explorerland piece. So.
I'd make a motion to approve Resolution 2984.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Did you have a comment?
I was just going to say
sorry.
thank Laura for your years of service and appreciative of all that.
I do have to remind her that she's still here to the end of December. We're hoping to meet her again before the end of that. Okay.
Okay,
Roll call.
motion by Hadley,
Yeah, aye.
Bergen,
Aye.
Chisholm,
Aye.
Carlson,
Aye.
Luce,
Aye.
Neal,
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Okay. Consider ordinance 1235
Oops.
amend,
Nope.
No, no,
oops, sorry.
resolution.
There's two resolutions with this, Mayor, so the
Sorry.
second one would be considering Resolution 2985.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, consider resolution 2985 authorizing full and voluntary transfer of Iowa 054 Low Rent Housing Authority of Decorah HCV program to Iowa 130 Upper Explorerland Housing Authority.
I'd move resolution 2985.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call?
Luce,
Aye.
Carlson,
Aye.
Chisholm,
Aye.
Bergen,
Aye.
Hadley,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Neal.
Aye.
Thank you. Consider ordinance 1235 amending chapter 1320 for the Decorah City Code by amending water rates, second reading.
This is a proposed 2% increase for the city's water rates.
What kind of comments, if any, have we gotten?
I've received no comments in my office.
Make a motion for approval of ordinance 1235.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Carlson?
Aye.
Luce?
Aye.
Neal?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Hadley?
Aye.
Bergen?
Aye.
Chisholm?
Aye.
Consider ordinance 1236, amending Chapter 1328 of the Decorah City Code by amending sewer rates. And this is also the second reading for this ordinance.
And it's also a 2% increase.
Chad, have you had any comments or?
No
concerns?
comments.
Okay. I'll make an approval for, or motion for approval of ordinance 1236.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Carlson?
Aye.
Chisholm?
Aye.
Bergen?
Aye.
Hadley?
Aye.
Johnson?
Aye.
Neal?
Aye.
Luce?
Aye.
City manager.
I did put a notice on your desk regarding an open house coming up for new Luther president Jennifer Ward and new school superintendent Mark Lane. I too want to thank the staff, all the department heads, the police department and the city council, and especially our consultant Jeff Kaler working through the police chief hiring process. It was a very grueling process, I think, but I think Jeff put together a very detail-oriented and professional approach to it, and I do thank everybody that was involved.
Thank you.
And I especially congratulate Chief Smutzler. Thank you.
Okay. Department heads.
We're going to start looking into the process to start to fill the 2 vacancies that we have at the police department, and also start looking into the process for the promotion of the next assistant.
Okay.
Dave, any time frame on what you hope to accomplish?
Being down 2 officers is pretty tough right now, so we want to start the advertising as soon as we can, and then we'll come up with a timeline from there. In some of the hiring process, we have to have 2 or 3 weeks time period between the 2 stages, so we're going to just sit down and start to figure those things out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
As you can tell, we got the sound system and the video stuff going. So
What?
a few bugs with it as we go, but it seems to go pretty good tonight. So
Janelle, how's it working?
I heard everything.
Independent validation.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you. Mike.
Ox Engineering has started the facility plan, our plan. It's going to be a very valuable tool moving forward for us. It'll be looking at our needs for the next 20 years. So when we're working with the EPA and DNR, we have documentation on improvements that we need to be doing in the future.
Wanda?
I would like to say Wanda scared us all on Nordic Fest, and we're so happy she's recouped so quickly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that our children's and young adult librarian will be leaving us in December, given some family priorities on her end. Of course, we wish her well, and we will miss her greatly. She has contributed so much to our program in the last 4 years that she's been with us. So, of course, our job search process is just getting ready to kick off. We'll be advertising shortly, so that'll be in all the regular media outlets. But if you see her and have a chance to thank her for her service, she's been a really great addition to our team, and she'll be missed.
Okay, one thing I maybe should mention, I was at the meeting last week. As most of you know, there's been some changes to the budgeting process that's coming, going to be effective for this next year. And there's going to be a lot of changes, and so that's something that we're going to have to sit down and look at and address sooner than later as to how we're going to approach that. Software has changed. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going to be different for this year, so it's something that we need to start working on a lot sooner than we have in the past. So there will be more on that to come.
Thank you. Todd?
I am very happy to announce that after 2 straight months of having 1, if not 2 of the city's reservoirs, elevated tanks, underground storage tanks down and maintaining water to all the citizens of Decorah. Last Tuesday, we put the very first city's reservoir, the North Ronan tank back on. And secondly, we have completed our 3-year lead and copper sampling plan. It's a process of collecting 40 samples randomly throughout the 40 samples. 39 of them came back good. The one that came back with just over the elevated, the portable limits, we have since resampled that one. We think it's a sampling error. Going back to 2010, I believe, that has never been close to being over. So waiting for the results of that to come back, and then once again, we'll be done.
Okay, thank you.
Good
Jeremy?
job.
Oh, sorry. I think somebody had a question. or
No, I just,
comment?
good job on the
Oh,
water back.
Okay. Jeremy?
Yeah, Nordic Fest came and went. Everything went well, as far as I know, so a lot of work for our staff, you guys put in a lot of hours, so appreciative of that. Otherwise, I'm keeping our new city forester very busy. Tackling some hazardous trees, got a list of about 20 for them that we'll be able to do internally, which will be great. Looking at some sign clearance and then moving into street clearances, which with a taller than average vehicle, you know we have some issues to address there. Keeping busy.
Okay, City Council. Randy?
Nothing this evening.
Emily?
Nope, thank you.
Andy?
Yeah, could we schedule a utility meeting after our next council meeting on August 19th? And congratulations to Dave. I'd also like to admit that I was wrong about Kaler Consulting, and that was money well spent. It was an extremely streamlined and well-done professional group. They pulled out all the stops. They had police chiefs from Grinnell, and where was our other one from?
Waverly.
Waverly.
And Lucas
A
Powell.
lot of professional insights from them. It was well done, and I'm glad we did it for transparency reasons as well. So,
Thank you,
that's all.
Andy.
Yep.
Steve?
Welcome, Dave, and congratulations. Looking forward to your years and years of service. My heart broke when I was awakened and told that not only El Paso, but Dayton the next morning I heard. 250 mass shootings in this country in 217 days this year. My goodness, folks. How do we address the craziness? I don't think it's a mental health issue. I think it's a gun control issue myself. But look forward to keeping Decorah safe, and we're so lucky so far. But let's take steps to make sure Decorah stays safe.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will have a community betterment meeting immediately following council tonight.
Okay. Ross?
Did we hear back from McClure regarding the 19th?
No, but that's what I'm tracking towards, is to see sidewalk information and Locust Road information on the 19th.
Okay, I would like to schedule a street committee meeting prior to the council meeting on the 19th then, to work on those issues in conjunction with McClure.
Nothing, Mayor.
Okay. I'm only going to report, since Andy's on vacation and Erica was at the department head, that they're working as far as the pool closing, attempting to make sure that they have enough workers once school started, so they don't have a definite date. I do want to compliment the Park and Rec for the Jungle Book event that they did at the high school. I did go to that. I think it involved about 65 different kids that I have no clue in a week how they got them to do everything and choreograph everything, but it was really good, and I wanted to compliment them on it. Otherwise, I know one other thing. We have openings on the Municipal Communications Utility Board, 2 openings. One, which we'd like to fill, at least one, with a female, but if you're interested in that, they will continue to be doing work on that, even though that, I mean, that's an important piece that we have to continue to explore and see how we can grow that piece. I believe that that's all, unless I forgot something, which would be surprising. We have a motion to adjourn. Thank you very much.